Hello stamping friends, this is Angie with Too Cool Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I am here with our weekly live class. We have one every Thursday, usually 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're a little bit late today. I just had to push it off for just an hour today, so I do apologize if I caught anybody off guard. Hopefully, if you were not able to join us live, you are watching the replay. And don't forget to, you can always see it on my Facebook page, toocoolstamping.com, or you can see all my Facebook lives on my YouTube channel, Too Cool Stamping, and you can subscribe to that, and then you can make sure that you don't miss a live ever. So you'll always get the replay there. Okay, so this week I'm very, very excited because, well, first of all, today I'm so excited I get to have my pre-order package. The brand new catalog is coming out on June 3rd, and demonstrators can now pre-order some select products from that new catalog, and it's always my favorite time of year to get new products in our hands. And today is when my UPS delivery is supposed to come, so I'm really excited about that. I wish I could show you that right now, but I don't have it yet, but I'm so excited. So maybe over the next few weeks, we might just see some little sneak peeks here and there so that you can see what is coming your way. But if you don't want to wait, did you know that you can get your hands on those products too? You can be a part of that pre-order. All you need to do is place a starter kit order. And that is a part of joining my team, but it's only $99, and it really is a great deal in the catalog right now. Well, it's all the time, really. It's $99, and you get $125 worth of product. You get free shipping on all of that, and you also will get a 20% discount on all your future orders. So those of you who may be purchasing a lot already because you love stamping, you have some big orders coming in. I know a lot of you do, and maybe you have a big wish list. I know you're gonna have a big wish list when you see this upcoming catalog. You're just gonna love it. I just know that you will. So set yourself up so that you can get a discount on all of those products. And all you need to do is purchase that $99 starter kit right now. Like I said, you can select up to $125 worth of product, and you're only paying $99. You get free shipping on that. You do have to pay tax if you have tax in your state, but it's a great deal. That's going on all the time. But right now, when you purchase that starter kit, you can actually go in, get a sneak peek of some of those new products, and purchase them as part of the pre-order, because you'll be kind of an acting demonstrator at that point, and you can go ahead and select those items so that you don't have to wait until June 3rd. So I just want to make sure that you are aware of that, because that's just a kind of a fun thing to be in on all of the new products coming in. And anyway, I know you're gonna have a lot of fun. If you have any questions about the starter kit, please message me or send me an email. You can just go to toocoolstamping.com, and there's an email link right there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, so today we're gonna get back to basics. We're gonna do ink and paper, and that is gonna be, we're gonna make some really pretty cards. So with everything going on with this horrible pandemic, and fortunately, I don't really know anybody personally who has been affected by the illness itself. Obviously, everyone's been affected in some way or another, but I don't know of anyone who, personally, who has been sick. And I am very, very thankful for that. But I know many of you know people that have been sick, and hopefully they have recovered. And if you don't know anyone, that's great, and I hope that it stays that way. I hope that you are just as blessed. But we all probably know someone, even if it's not the coronavirus, that maybe is suffering with some other kind of an illness at this time too. So we're gonna focus on the really pretty stamp set called Healing Hugs. It's a stamp set that I bought quite a while ago because I just fell in love with it, but I've never had a chance to play with it. I think I bought it last year right before the holiday catalog came out, and then I got way into all the holiday stuff and all of the Christmas stuff, and then we had the celebration come in, and I just haven't gotten back to this set. But I saw a couple of cards online and I loved them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never used that set. So I needed to get it out, and I wanted to show you how beautiful it is to stamp with. And I mean, a lot of times designer series paper makes for a really great background. This stamp set, it really only has one big floral image, but it is so gorgeous, and the detail on it is absolutely amazing. It's one of those distinctive stamp sets, which means it's really a detailed image, and you'll see what I mean as soon as you see the stamped images that we're going to be playing with today. So Healing Hugs is the name of it. I'll give you the product number. It's 146530. And after the whole class is over with today, sometime later today, I'll have all of the featured products and their product numbers listed, as well as some measurements, and that way you can duplicate them. Also, we have a live class kit, of course. I want you to be able to make the exact cards that I'm making if you want to, and all you need to do to qualify for the free live class kit is to place a $35 order or higher, and you have to use the host code. And when I flip the camera around, I'll show you what that host code is. And if you just use that host code, you have to use the host code, and it has to be an order of at least $35 at my online store. You can find that store by, the easiest way is to go to toocoolstamping.com, since you know Too Cool Stamping, and there's a Shop Now link, and that'll take you directly there. And so that's the easiest way to do it. So we'll put together our cards today, and then I'll show you which cards are gonna be in the kit. We'll have 6 cards, and I think you're really gonna like this class a lot. I know I really do, because it just gets back to the basics of stamping. Ink and paper. All right, let's flip the camera around, so hold on. Close your eyes if you need to. I see we have several people on here today. Thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate that. And you can see our host code here at the top of the screen, BQPK4TGR. And that host code will be for the live class kit, and you'll see what those cards are in a minute. So here is our stamp set that we're featuring today, Healing Hugs, with that beautiful flower rose image and some really nice sentiments. And it's specific to getting well and healing. But you could pair this same imagery up with any stamp set that you have, any other stamp set that you have for birthdays or sympathy or whatever. And you're going to find these images and the cards that we're doing today are very versatile. You can use them with a lot of different sentiments. Okay, so let's get started with our first card today. And I'm going to start with Petal Pink as my card base. And I've scored that already. I love to score my cards because it makes the fold really nice and clean. And you're going to fold that toward the mountain. There's kind of a ridge on one side, and the part that has the bump is, I call it the mountain versus the valley, and you're gonna fold toward the mountain. So I'm gonna start with just a little tiny strip here of the Parisian Blossoms designer series paper. It has that really pretty champagne foil on it, and we'll start with that on the side of this card. I'm gonna put that way over to the edge with just a little bit peeking out of the card base right along that edge. And then let's start doing some stamping. I'm starting with a 2 3/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Whisper White. And we're going to take that beautiful image, floral image. And like I just mentioned, this is a distinctive stamp, which means it's super, super detailed. So you'll see that when we stamp it, you can get a lot of detail in it, and it actually gives you a lot of shading and really kind of brings the image to life. So the other nice thing about this class kit, I'm going to show you a lot of different colors that you can use, but you can really use a lot of your own colors. If you don't have the exact colors that I have, you can kind of mix it up a little bit. So this is Petal Pink, and I'm just going to tap that on there. Before we stamp it, I'm going to add a little bit of color. I'm going to add some Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to add that with a little sponge dauber. I love these little guys. And this is a fun way to add just a little bit of color and shading. So I'm just putting that Flirty Flamingo, just tapping right in the center of my flower image. And then I'm going to stamp right over here. And then I'm gonna just do the same thing. So I'm gonna ink up again. And then, sorry, I'm making the camera shake. I should do this. There we go. We'll do another over here. And then Petal Pink with a little Flirty Flamingo again. And you can see that the two-tone on that is just absolutely lovely. Isn't that beautiful? I love that two-tone image. So that is our, they're so simple to do too. That's our floral image. And then we're gonna use the Pear Pizzazz with the leaves image. And I'm just gonna add those kind of around to fill up the space. One up here, and I might even have some coming in from the edges just to really fill the space up. Okay. All right. Next, that's pretty much all the background. Isn't that, it's so fast, it's so pretty, and that part is done. Okay, we're gonna add that to a piece of Pear Pizzazz that's 3 by 5.5. And this will kind of be our focal point background. And we'll just center that. And then before we put that down on our front, isn't that beautiful? I love those colors so very much. Okay, I'm gonna put some ribbon around that. This is the Champagne and Petal Pink metal edged ribbon. They're not carrying this over, I'm so sad. And I can't remember whether it's sold out or not, but it is on the retired list. But I had some left over and I thought, okay, we're gonna do a class to use that up so that I can play with it one more time because it's so pretty. And speaking of retired list, have you checked out the retired list? If you haven't, you really need to. There's a lot of items on there that are discounted, 30%, 40, up to 60% off. And it's definitely worth a look. So I'm gonna attach this and I'm gonna use, on the back, I'm gonna use just a little bit of tear and tape. Since we have this ribbon on here, I wanna make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, doesn't pop up off of our card front. So I'm just putting a little extra security right there. And then the rest of it, I'm gonna use my snail adhesive. I'm really excited because there is a new adhesive coming from Stampin' Up! In their new catalog. I can't tell you a whole lot about it yet, except that I hear it's really, really holds very securely. So I think that's gonna be great. So I'm looking forward to playing with that, and maybe we won't need as much tear and tape if that's gonna work really well. So you can see I just added that. There's just a little bit of space between there. So 2 panels basically side by side. Then we're gonna finish up with a sentiment. And I just have a little Stitch Shapes die cut here in Whisper White. I'm gonna use some Old Olive for that sentiment. And a lot of the sentiments in here, they're just very thoughtful. This is sending you healing vibes. I think that's very lovely. So we'll stamp that on our Stitch Shapes die cut. And we'll pop that up with a couple dimensionals. Just put that right here. And we're gonna add just one little tiny gem. The Champagne Rhinestones are carrying over. I'm so happy about that. And let's see, I'm just gonna use just one little one, I think. just a little bit of shine. That way we have kind of shine over here, a little shine on the ribbon, and then one more. I like threes, are really good for design. So that is our first card. Now I'm going to show you the first, I usually do 2 cool versions, as many of you know, and I'm going to show you how to start the next one, because it's just a little bit different with the flower. Let me clean that image real quick. All right, so I have, this time I'm going to start with a Seaside spray as my background, and so my flowers are also going to start with a Seaside spray. You want to start with the lighter color first, always, when you do that 2-tone image, and then the middle, actually this time I'm going to do the outer edge, so you can see the difference. This one has the different color on the inside. This one we're going to use Highland Heather, and we're just going to put a little bit of that ink around the edges. So you can see kind of the difference. So you can see that really pretty purple around the edges of the Seaside spray. I love how that looks too. So you can choose to do the middle or the edges. So we'll just do a couple of these. You can see how that looks. And one more. Up here at the top. So I love that. I wonder, do you like the outer edges in the different color, or do you like the middle in the different color? That's why I do 2 versions, because I never can decide. They're both pretty and I want to try both ways. So that's how my 2 cool version, doing 2 of each, kind of started, because I am a poor decision maker. I can't decide, and so I try it in many different ways. So I'll show you how that card turned out. This was the Seaside spray. I used some of the designer series paper, that the in color pack of 6x6 designer series paper, and then I finished up that image with more leaves. This time I put some of the Seaside spray metallic shimmer ribbon on there. I love that look. Same sentiment as before, and then I finished up with some silver metallic pearls. I thought those looked really great with that color, almost the same color as that Seaside spray. It kind of has a bluish hue to that silver. So those are the first 2 cards, and you will be making both of these cards in your class kit. So there's a lot of versatility with that. You can use a lot of different color combinations if you start with Petal Pink or Seaside spray, and some type of green, either the Pear Pizzazz or Old Olive or whatever you like. So lots of versatility there. So let me know what you think of those cards. All right. Next, we're going to start with Seaside, or soft seafoam. What is it called? Soft seafoam. And we're doing a lot of soft colors because I really like soft colors with this particular stamp set. And I've made a little layer here of soft seafoam, and I used the Scripty embossing folder, so you can see a little bit of a texture there. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to our card front. Just a little bit of a subtle texture. I also have a little piece here of the gingham from the Subtles Designer Series paper, the 6x6 pack. And we'll put that right across the bottom. All right, now let's work on our focal point. I've already die cut one of the stitched nested labels shapes in Whisper White. And we're going to use some of these leafy images, kind of the foliage from the stamp set. and just randomly make them come out from the center. You wouldn't have to have them all coming out that way, but I just chose to do it that way. You could kind of just randomly do it, you know, however you like. Okay, so that was in soft seafoam. Next we're gonna do our floral image again, and this time we're going to stamp it in Flirty Flamingo. You could do that two-tone image again. That just takes a little extra time, so if you want to do that, by all means. I think the Petal Pink and the Flirty Flamingo would look great together, but I'm just gonna stamp it in Flirty Flamingo. Now when we just have this one color, you can really see with this how beautiful that image is, that distinctive image with a lot of shading and detail. It's almost like a newspaper with the dot pattern on it that, that makes photographs on a newspaper really very clear and realistic. That's what's happening here. There's kind of a dot pattern to it. Just really, really pretty. And that's what I love about the distinctive stamp set. All right, and then we're going to stamp the leaves a couple of times here in Mossy Meadow. So this is just kind of a little scrap piece here, and I'm going to cut those out for you. I was gonna have these already pre-cut, and I just realized that I didn't do that for myself. So guess what? We're gonna show you some tips on how to cut a piece out. Unfortunately, this is one of those stamp sets that does not have a die cut, and we get a little bit spoiled, I think, with all the die cuts that we have that go with all of the flowers and things. But this one is pretty easy to cut out. So the tip I have is, instead of doing a lot of this with your going around with your scissors leading the way, you actually want to keep your scissors fairly still, and you're going to kind of move your paper around. So you're going to drive your paper, I guess is kind of a way that you could say it. And when you move the paper instead of the blades, it's actually a little bit, whoops, I got the paper caught in the middle of my scissors. It's actually a little bit easier to have more control, I guess. So this one isn't too bad for cutting out. And then we also want to cut out the leaves. So again, you're just going to kind of move the paper around and not the blades as much. All right. Someone told me that when they watch me, it's like hypnotic. So this is one of those hypnotic moments for you, I think. Does that mean it's lovely to watch or put you to sleep? I don't know. Okay. There we go. Then let's go ahead and put this on the front with our snail. Just add that. Then this is going to be one of our focal points, and I'm going to just go ahead and add some of those to the sides here, so they're kind of peeking out. So just a little bit of snail. And then before we add that, I'm going to add just a few more little twigs, or should I say sprigs, with the sprig. I'm going to punch out 3 of those. So these are going to come out from this, so kind of give it a little bit of extra foliage happening. So lots of background, lots of textures happening here. So I just want to kind of position how I want those. I'm going to have a sentiment down here, so I think that looks good to me. So I'm going to carefully lift this part up without taking the sprigs, and I just need to tack those down. here. And then we will pop this up over the top with some dimensionals. All right, I'll add that right here. And then we're gonna finish up with a sentiment. I've already die cut this Ornate Frames die cut, and it's in Petal Pink. Again, the Flirty Flamingo and Petal Pink. I love how that works together. And this time we'll stamp it in the Mossy Meadow, and we'll use a different sentiment. This one says, wishing you a quick and complete recovery, which is kind of an inside sentiment as well. A lot of these can be used on the inside of the card or the outside of the card, which I love. And then we can pop this one up as well. And we'll finish up with a couple of the champagne gems. So we'll just put one over here and one over here just to give it a little kind of a finished look. So there is our second card, and if I was going to do this again, I'd probably move this down a little bit because I see I have some leaves here. I think it would have been better and a little more balanced had I moved it down. I did a different card earlier. This one shows it a little bit better, so there's a little bit less white space in the middle. So that'll be your first card. Now my Too Cool version is with Balmy Blue, and I did it in a horizontal this time. I did go ahead and do the two-tone. I did the Petal Pink and then a little bit of Night of Navy. Not Petal Pink, that is so not the color. Pool Party is what or no, it is Balmy Blue. Sorry, I'll get it right. Balmy Blue to match the Balmy Blue, and then some Night of Navy for that. And then this time I used the Old Olive for the sprigs and the leaves. I thought that worked a little better with this color. I used the larger Get Well Soon, and you can see across the bottom here I have that's another stamp image in this set, just kind of a little some plus signs that you can make into a border or add a pattern to your background or whatever. So that is the second card. Oh, and I also used some of those metallic, silver metallics. Again, I thought that looked really great. So for your class, we're going to be doing the soft seafoam. And since it was something you had to cut out, I just left it to one. I thought I'd be nice and help you out there. All right. Next, we're going to do a little bit more stamping with kind of background stamping again with the big floral image. So let me clean that up real quick. And all right, this time we're going to start with Rococo Rose. Since it's kind of a rose image, it's always fun to do this color. I love this kind of a dusty rose. And this time we're going to do some stamping off so that you can see how well that works with this stamp set. So I'm going to start with Rococo Rose. We're going to stamp one image here, stamp another image, just a little bit of an overlap and not re-inking, and then one more up here. So stamping off, I love that. Gives you kind of an ombre almost effect there. Then we'll add some leaves. And for that one, we're going to do Petal Pink, or I keep saying Petal Pink. I love Petal Pink, but it's really not the color that we're using all the time, especially on leaves. Pear Pizzazz is the color that we're going to be doing. Let's do it over here. So we're going to randomly put some of these around. And these actually I meant to also stamp off a little bit. Now, remember, here's one thing, a little tip. If you do a stamp off, I'm gonna do this on the back. Let's say you do one here, and then you do a stamp off over here, and see how you're going off of the sheet there. Then when you do it again, you're gonna have a little bit of a darker part where it wasn't stamped off. So be very careful as you're doing stamping off. If you go off the edge, the next time you wanna re-ink and stamp off on your scrap paper, and then you'll have a nice clear image instead of one that has a line in it. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna use this on the front. Oh, we have one more thing we wanted to add here. We're gonna use this other leafy image and crumb cake. And for this one, we're just gonna kind of overlap a little bit, just adding a little bit of color. And a little bit of a different texture there. I love that you can use those images together, the outline images with the distinctive, really detailed images. All right, let's go ahead and add that to our, oh, one more thing. So I want to add that to my card front, but I wanted to add just a little bit of the gingham from the In Color Designer Series paper. And usually I would have just a whole strip going all the way across, but I don't have very much of it left. But I want you guys to be able to do this as a class. So we're gonna cheat a little bit. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But we're just gonna add a couple of pieces here. And if you want to make sure that you're having that line up okay, like if you have some grid paper, you can go up 1, 2, 3 squares over here, and then 1, 2, 3 squares over here, or you can use a ruler to kind of go across. But yeah, we're just gonna cheat there. Shh. There's lots of cheating that happen in cards, and as long as it ends up pretty, we don't care. So we'll add that over the top. See, just a little bit peeking out there, just really add something, but you can't tell that's not a whole strip. So we love it. All right, next we're gonna add the sentiment. I have a little stitched rectangles dies for this one, and we're going to, and it's with Blushing Bride. We're gonna add that with our Early Espresso. And we're gonna do another Sending You Healing Vibes. Fits very nicely there. And we'll pop that up with some dimensionals again. So you can see the beautiful floral images here. When you use that as a background, it just makes the whole card. It's just absolutely beautiful. So we're just gonna add that right here at the top. Oh, I just think that looks amazing. And then one more, actually a couple more things. We're gonna add some linen thread. I love that since we're using crumb cake, we're gonna kind of tie in that same color with the linen thread. So just tie a little bow. And I just wanna tell you, if you get my card kits, usually, if I have time, I tie all your bows for you. So you never have to worry about that. So that's, I like to do that because I know a lot of people don't like to tie bows. And I am so used to doing it, I can do it very quickly. So I'm just gonna add that with a little glue dot right here, and I pinch the glue dot so that it kind of tucks it underneath the knot. And then we'll finish up. Always have to have just a little bit of an embellishment, a little bling of some sort. So let's add a couple of pearls, just kind of floating around. So that is our card. And then our Too Cool version, I did in Calypso Coral. So here is that one. I did it on the horizontal this time. This time you will get a full strip because I do have enough of that gingham for the background. So for this one I stamped with Calypso Coral, stamped off, and since I was off the edge here, I stamped off on my paper the next time I inked off for this one. And then I also did the same kind of stamping off for the leaves. Get Well Soon, that's on Grapefruit Grove, so that color is going to be leaving us very soon, one of the in colors that's retiring, but it still looks really great with that Calypso Coral, so I wanted to try that out a little bit. And yeah, finished up with some pearls. So let me know which one you like the best. You will be getting all of the parts and pieces to make both of these cards in your kit. All right, we have one more card, and this one's pretty quick. I like quick and easy. So this one is starting with our Pretty Peacock card base. And we're going to do some stamping right on the card front here. So let me get my inks. We're going to use Pretty Peacock and not Petal Pink, Pool Party. Okay. So we'll use that beautiful rose image with Pretty Peacock, and we're just going to start stamping that right on top of our card front. So we have kind of a tone on tone look. And then also with the leaves, so we can add those randomly. Fill up a lot of the spaces there. Okay, this one is actually, I meant to do it this way, but we're just going to go with it and do it this way since I kind of screwed up there. I'll show you my other version that I like a little bit better. Yeah. Hey, it wouldn't be a live class if I didn't totally screw up at some point, right? So I'm going to add this across. Since it's not going to be horizontal, I would have wanted to do those roses in a little bit different. Since they're kind of looking up that way, I would have wanted to do them a little different. Anyway, we're moving on. You'll see what it looks like in a minute. All right, so there's our background. The sentiment that's going to go on it, we have a stitch shapes circle in Whisper White. We're going to stamp the Get Well Soon right in the middle in Pretty Peacock. And then let's clean this image again. I need to clean my Stampin' Scrub up or get my Simply Chamois out. That would be the best thing to do. So I'm going to use my Pool Party, and I'm just going to come in here kind of at the side and add a couple of flowers. And then again, we'll clean up our, whoops, what happened to my leaves? These leaves, we're going to use the Petal, not Petal Pink. Why am I going there with in my head? Help me, someone, please. Make me stop saying Petal Pink. Pear Pizzazz. Just going to kind of add a few of those around, just to give it a little bit of a floral look. And then we'll finish up with a little bow. Let's get that popped up first. I'm losing my dimensionals in addition to my mind. Here we go. So we'll pop that up. Okay, I love that. That's a really sweet look with just a little bit of flowers around there. And then we'll finish up with just a little polka dot tulle bow. And again, I'll have that all tied for you. We're going to add this up in the space up at the top. Kind of finish it off. And I think we need to add some rhinestones to this one. But I want to color them. You can either, if you get the Noble Peacock rhinestones, I'm not sure, they might be sold out, but they are retiring. They do have the pretty peacock color of rhinestones, but never fear, if you don't have that, you can always use your Stampin' Blends markers. I'm using my dark pretty peacock color. Just use that fine bold tip, bullet tip, and gently go around the top of each rhinestone. And then I'm just going to add a few of those around the sentiment, just to give it a little something extra. So there is the card. I'll show you what I meant to do. I meant to have it go this way, but see, you can do it either way when you get it. There's two cool versions right there, but I did do another one. This time I did it in Rich Razzleberry. I stamped in Rich Razzleberry. I did a little basket weave Blackberry Bliss element across there, and then I stamped in Stamped Off Lovely Lipstick. Looks really great with that Rich Razzleberry. And again, that's one of those in colors that's leaving. So if you can, get that before it's gone. And then the rhinestones are colored with dark Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Blends markers. So those are our two cool versions for that one. And you will get the card supplies for the pretty peacock one, or the petal pink one, you know, whichever. All right, everybody, let's look at what we're going to be having in our class. So you'll have these two, the one we just did here in the pretty peacock. We'll have this soft seafoam one, and then the two with the gingham and the stamped off versions. So those are all of the different cards that will be, all the supplies will be in your card kit. Again, you can get that card kit for free when you place an order at my online store. You can find that at toocoolstamping.com and just click on the Shop Now link. When you place your order, it needs to be at least $35 or more. And don't forget to use that host code. Really, really important, so I know what incentive that you want for this month. And the host code BQPK4TGR. Another tip, if you happen to be purchasing $150 or more for your order, you don't have to use the host code. I want you to not use it because I want you to be able to earn the Stampin' Rewards that go along with that $150 threshold when you hit that with your order. So if you get your order up to that amount, don't use the host code. I'll automatically send you a class kit, so no worries about that. If you use a host code, then you don't get those Stampin' Rewards, and I want you to be able to earn those and benefit from those. You get 10% back on your order for orders of $150 or more that you can spend on additional product in that order. So, okay, let me know what you think of this class. I'd love to know if you like that Healing Hugs stamp set. Do you have it already? It's been around for a little while, but it is staying in the new catalog, so I love that we'll still be able to use it, and it's perfect for this time of year, or perfect for this, the crazy times that we're in, I guess I should say. So take a look at that. I'll have all the measurements and everything in the description a little bit later today, and I thank you so very much for joining me, and I hope that I see you next week. We do this every week, Thursdays, usually at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and I hope to see you next week. Until then, this is Angie with Too Cool Stamping. I'll stamp with you soon. Bye-bye.